So you have cleared this examination in first attempt, which is exceptional in RBI Grade B examination.
Sir, syllabus and PYQs are like two headlights of a car. They are very important. If you don't know which headlight to use when, left or right, or none of them are working, or you are using only one, your chances of accident increases.
How did you prepare for the interview? What are the sources that you followed? What sources should be followed? And of course, how was the actual interview experience?
Then at last the honorable chairman asked me, okay, there is a question for which I am looking an answer for last 7 years. Let me see if you can satisfy me. And then he asked me, tell me, should we eliminate all the superstition in the society?
Hi everyone, my name is Manish Mishra and I welcome you all to the topper series of RBI Grade B 2024. Today with me is Mr. Amit Kumar. He has cleared the RBI Grade B 2024 examination in his very first attempt. No commerce background, no banking background, no MBA, yet he has cleared the examination in first attempt. So I welcome Amit to the channel and I congratulate you to clear this examination.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for the opportunity to bring me here.
All right, Amit, so I would like to introduce you yourself first. आप अपने बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए कि आपका क्या एजुकेशन बैकग्राउंड था, कैसे आपको आरबीआई के बारे में पता चला और कैसे आप यहाँ तक पहुँचे.
So I completed my BTech MTech dual degree from IIEST Shibpur in 2020. After that, I worked for Capgemini for around 9 months. After that, I dwelled into the preparation of UPSC. I also gave a mains, but I could not clear it because of my medical reasons. And then after I was looking for a backup, and I think there is no better backup than RBI Grade B. And of course, now it has become option A for me rather than option B. So I looked upon this opportunity and I thought that this could be a very good opportunity given the integrity and the reputation that this institution has. So I looked upon the sources, the method of preparation and other things needed. There are ample opportunities on YouTube to learn about this organization, to learn about the exams of that this organization conducts. And then I thought that it is very much doable and it can be done. Fortunately, I made up this time in lesser number of vacancies. So this was my journey so far.
Wonderful, Amit. तो चलिए मैं सबसे पहले स्टार्ट करूँगा विद योर वेरी फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट. सो यू हैव क्लियर्ड दिस एग्जामिनेशन इन फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट विच इज़ समथिंग which is exceptional in RBI Grade B examination. A lot of people, a lot of aspirants have this doubt, have this misconception that clearing this examination in first attempt is quite, impossible kind of thing. So what is your opinion on this?
Sir, I don't think it is impossible, not only because I have cleared it. I think there are people who have made it in first attempt. But as long as we consider that why people are afraid of clearing it in first attempt is because they do not have a good idea about something. It's all about the idea. If you get the idea after 4 attempts, you'll clear it in 5th attempt. If you get the idea in 2nd attempt, you'll clear it in 3rd attempt. So I got the idea, whatever was needed, whatever has to be done, whatever has not to be done. So everything I got it before the first time. So it's all about the proverb that you should learn from others' mistake. That is what I did. I went through the pattern. I went through the requirements of the exam. I went through the strategy of toppers. I went through the do's and don'ts of this exam. And if you get to know those things beforehand, and there is only one chance that you give to yourself that I have to do it in this time, I think it is very much doable in first attempt. And I am the live example of that. I did it and I did not have any background. But just because there are good opportunities, there are good guidance available. It's just that people have a FOMO that we cannot make it, or people do not have the idea to utilize the free resources. I think it is all about that. So if you have a good teacher who is explaining something good on YouTube, you should take it without a FOMO. And I think it is very much doable.
Exactly. Wonderful. I think knowing the examination before attempting it is very important. In fact, it is even more important than attempting it. Right? वो कहते हैं ना कि अगर हम किसी कुएं में जा रहे हैं तो हमें पता होना चाहिए कि उसकी गहराई कितनी है. राइट, सही है. सो इसी तरीके से इसी से कनेक्टेड एक क्वेश्चन है रिगार्डिंग बीइंग अ फ्रेशर. अब जो बहुत सारे मेरे पास क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, आई गेट अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द फ्रेशर कैंडिडेट्स दैट आई एम जस्ट अ ग्रेजुएट, I do not have any certification course from like IIBF or NISM. I do not have any commerce background. I'm a complete fresher. I'm not a banker, right? I have no professional experience. So since you also do not have any professional experience except that 9 months of Capgemini, so how do you, again, what is your opinion on this? So is it important? Is it necessary to have some working experience for getting selected in RBI, or you can also crack it being a fresher?
Sir, I would say in that regard that I had the experience of 9 months in Capgemini. That was a software testing job. So I do not have any experience in this regard, at least as far as banking is concerned. And about the requirements of this exam, I think the notification is fair enough. You should be very thorough with the notification. And if you see, the requirement of any certification, the requirement of any experience in banking domain is not mentioned neither in essential nor in desirable column. Had it been so important, they would have at least given that in desirable column, but that is not given in desirable column also, let alone the essential column. So it is very clear that the organization do not want you to have any preconceived notions about it. So I think getting some idea from some random person, it would be far wiser if you look into the notifications. If you read through the notification, it is mentioned very clearly that you just need to be a graduate for this exam, and I think that should be pretty good as the first instance. In the first instance, it should be very clear in your mind that this organization demands me to only be a graduate, and I should not, give a mental luggage to myself that yes, I have to take certain certifications or something like that. Because some people during my journey also asked me, "You do not have any background. What will you do?" I just said them the same thing. Is it anywhere mentioned that I need to have a certification or I need to have any background? No, they are just mentioning that you should be a graduate, and I am a graduate. So it's just that. It's all about clarity of things, that you should be clear. You should not have FOMO of anything. It's all about FOMO. The entire market runs behind FOMO. But if you see it from a neutral perspective, nothing is needed except being a graduate degree.
Right, wonderful. So before going into your preparation strategy, I have one more question to ask here. That we were talking about knowing the examination. So which are those areas that one should know about this examination or any examination before getting into the preparation phase? I mean, मैं आज preparation start करना चाहता हूँ, and I think you are the best person to answer this question, क्योंकि आपने बताया कि एग्ज़ाम को जानना कितना ज़रूरी है. तो अगर आज मैं एग्ज़ाम की प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट करना चाहता हूँ तो मुझे क्या क्या पता होना चाहिए एग्जामिनेशन के बारे में? सो आई मीन, आई होप यू आर गेटिंग माई क्वेश्चन, कि क्या क्या मुझे पता होना चाहिए, कि क्या मुझे PYPs पता होनी चाहिए, कैसे मुझे एनालाइज करना है, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए.
सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ तो यही है कि आपको नोटिफिकेशन पढ़ना आना चाहिए. लाइक व्हाट आर दे एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम यू एंड व्हाट डू यू एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम देम, बोथ आर इंपॉर्टेंट. पहले आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि वेदर डू यू वांट टू टेक दैट जॉब और नॉट. दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग, because there is no point repenting later. Even if you make into an exam and you don't like it, तो पूरा मेहनत बेकार जाता है. So it would be far wiser you get to know about the job, and then you get to know about the exam that you have to clear to get that job. If you are satisfied with both the things, then you should look for the need of the organization. What do they expect from you? Like, what are the necessary qualifications, whether you have that or not? What are the desirable qualifications? Do you have that or not? Even if it is not there, but you can take it in later time. So that is the first thing about getting to know the exam. Again, about preparation, you should get to know the trend of PYQs. For example, be it any exam, they must have taken some exam in the past. There are other exams which are not happening yearly. But even then, sometimes they would have happened in past. Like I cleared ICAR. That happened, I think, after 6 or 7 years. So they bring vacancies for AO in 6 or 7 years. But they also had PYQs. Of course, the trend will be far different than last exam because of the time difference. But you'll get an idea what kind of questions they are asking. Are they asking analytical questions? Are they asking factual questions? Or are they asking from a certain domain? Because it's all about Pareto principles. That the 20% of the syllabus contains the 80% of the marks. It's like that. So I think it is very important. And if you see the PYQs and the the PYQ trend and the kind of questions that are coming, like whether it is descriptive or objective. And the most important thing is that there is a problem in people. Like I also had this in the beginning, that I used to think that every topic is equally important, which is not the case. So there has to be a discrimination here. No discrimination is not always good. So we need to have a discrimination. Certain topics are to be prioritized, and that is very important. For example, government schemes is important. If you consider it equal to some other topic, it won't be wise. So that is one thing. And apart from that, I think PYQs are a very good way to know about it. And there are some topper strategies which we don't generally employ. But I think mock tests are a very good way of using those. For example, if I want to clear it in first attempt and somebody has done that thing in past, there's nothing bad in taking that strategy and applying it in mocks. If it works, very well. If it doesn't work, you don't lose your attempt. Because you have to understand that every year counts. And relying your entire career on certain definite kind of strategy won't be wise. You should give it a hit and trial. Try 2-3 strategies, come out with the most optimum one, and I think that would be very well to go about.
Yes, wonderful. What is the importance of syllabus, Amit? Syllabus की क्या importance है भाई?
Sir, syllabus and PYQs are like two headlights of a car. They are very important. If you don't know which headlight to use when, left or right, or none of them are working, or you are using only one, your chances of accident increases. It's the same thing. So you don't have to do a crash landing in the exam. You should do it before in the mocks and all. So first thing is syllabus. Syllabus tells you about the domain of the exam, how much you have to study, and then PYQs tell you how to study that part. So both are important. आपको बहुत ज़्यादा भी नहीं पढ़ना है और गलत तरीके से भी नहीं पढ़ना है. Both are important. So when it comes to syllabus, I think it defines the scope that आपको इतना ही पढ़ना है, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ना है. And then you have to push in your efforts in that demand, and that thing, like syllabus is a very good mechanism to limit your extra wastage of resources and wastage of your energy, time, everything. So that should be kept in mind.
Exactly. I think this happens with a lot of people. Like, for example, there is a topic in management leadership. So on leadership, we can read a whole lot of books as well. And at the same time, we can complete it through a chapter only, right? So the syllabus tells us that up to how much depth we have to go while studying, while preparing for any government examination. ठीक है, wonderful. अब आते हैं प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी पे, जिसका इंतज़ार बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट्स अभी के जो एस्पिरेंट्स हैं वो कर रहे हैं. So let's talk about, first of all, the phase 1 strategy, subjects wise: quant, reasoning, English, and then of course the general awareness, जिससे devil in the room. So let's start from quant, then reasoning, then English, and then general awareness.
So coming from engineering background and coming from a science background, I do have a good aptitude about maths and reasoning. That is obvious. But I have given other exams also, like CGL and like CAPF, NDA and all. So I had a good command on quant and reasoning. But again, the demand for this exam is drastically different. Not in terms of syllabus, but in terms of the depth that you need to cover it. In terms of the analytical abilities that you need to put in. So I think in that regard, you need a lot of practice. I also did practice, but because of the paucity of time, I could not make that much of practice. But fortunately, I made it. But practice is very important. And I don't think quant and reasoning is something where you need more of strategies. What you need is the selection of questions and the practice. Because I always tell people, exam में question का selection करना is far more important than solving this question. Because no one, I don't think more than 1% of the people are there in the exam who use quant and reasoning to clear the cutoff. They increase their score. They all use it to clear the cutoff. So for example, if you see this time, I think the cutoff for quant was 7 marks, if I'm not wrong. So
7.5.
Yeah. So getting 7.5 marks is not a big thing. Just the thing you should know is to select the questions. Because in every examination, they give certain easy questions that will help you clear the cutoff. And they are generally in the middle or at the last, not in the beginning. So selection of question is very important, which I tell everybody. Because that will be kind of like trade-off. That will save your time also, your effort also, and that will give you confidence also. First thing is that regarding quant and reasoning. Second thing is you have to capitalize on the smaller part. For example, in syllogism or blood relations, which are easier topics relatively, like simplification in quant. In comparison to the topics like puzzle, sitting arrangement, they have a good weightage. But again, if you're clearing a cutoff in easier topics, why to hit your head in difficult topics? So for quant and reasoning, that will be very good strategy. For English, I think basic grammar is very important. And it's all about, most of the questions will be related to, I think it is about omitting, emission, again, editing, close test, puzzle, sentence rearrangement. These are the questions. It is good that it is not like CGL where they ask you a lot of antonyms and synonyms. So rectification is little lesser. And I think the grammar portion can be covered wisely if you can complete the English at one go. I think it will be very good if you can command your grammar part. And apart from GA, of course, devil in the room. So again, here what you can do is you can take a particular current affair magazine of any institute, because the news remains the same, only 10% varies. So take any magazine, make a consolidated notes that should be sufficient for the exam. And apart from that, you have to revise it thoroughly because they ask the raw data. That is very important. And apart from that, what I will tell is, if you see of late, all the regulatory bodies are shifting from the current affairs portion to the literal meaning of general awareness, where you should be vigilant about the activities around you. You cannot stick to a particular magazine or something. You cannot risk your life and a career based on a particular magazine, be it any institute. So I would say be vigilant about the things. Keep reading current affairs in general. If you are not fond of reading newspaper, there are better ways. There are many institutes, many YouTube channels who give compilations or who gives like kind of daily analysis of newspaper. You can listen to that. That would also be a good idea. But be in touch with the news. Don't leave it for the last key. I'll complete a particular magazine and it will be done. It will not be done. If I remember one question, there was a question related to Edward Snowden. I don't know people solve that or not. I could solve it. When did I read about it? When last year, I think the Cambridge Analytica case of Facebook. Then I studied about it. So it was not a direct question. But when you read your current affairs daily, it gives you that subconscious mind, because in phase one part, you don't have to write the answer. You have to recognize the answer. Answer is already there. So even if it is in your subconscious mind, I think it will come out. So if you are vigilant about the news, if you are thorough with the news, you are listening it on a daily basis, it will create a kind of peripheral memory in your subconscious mind, and that really comes in handy when it comes to recognizing the answers in the exam.
Okay, wonderful. So, if you can tell us some of the sources that you follow for general awareness part, because it is a very a major problem among the students to identify the sources. I agree that the sources cannot be uniform for everyone. It can be, it might differ among all the aspirants. But if you can tell some of the major sources that you followed for GA.
Sir, for GA, if you see majorly, there are three kind of things. First is PIB, that is infallible. You have to do it. Second is government schemes. So both are overlapping, but they are not the same. We have to understand this thing. Third is the reports wala part. And fourth is the general current affairs. And it would be wiser if you can cover the first three part, PIB, current government schemes, and the report wala portion before phase one, so that it will help you in phase two also. So what I did for PIB, I solely relied on your videos. I think it is 100% full. Like, you don't have to think about anything secondary to this. It is 100% doable. So I completed my entire PIB on your lectures. Of course, there were some things where I thought that you are teaching me extra data, so I left that part because I could not ratify that much. But again, that was very comprehensive. I did not have any FOMO, because again, it is about the question of marginal utility. If you go to a second source, you will at max add 5 to 10% more, but for that you're giving an entire double time. That is not value for your time. And given that I had paucity of time, I prepared it only in 3 months majorly. I started preparing for this half month or 1 month before the notification. So I already had paucity of time, so I had to cover it in a the shortest possible manner. So I relied on for PIB on your videos. For government schemes, I followed your videos, and there are 2-3 other magazines which I followed, and then I made a consolidated note. If you see, I made one scheme, one page kind of notes, where each and every detail, including a single dot that is there, has to be in my notes. Nothing comes out of that. And I covered around 30-35 schemes for that. I think it was around 15 pages. If you take both sides, it will be 30, otherwise 15 pages. And that was so comprehensive that I could solve almost all the questions on schemes. It was thorough in my mind, first thing. The same I did for reports. And again, there will be questions that will come out of that. But you have to be confident that if you are not solving it after covering so much, nobody will be able to solve. So that is not deciding the cutoff. Apart from that, for the general part, I used the Cloud Affairs Cloud magazine, and I covered from that, and I think it sufficed.
Okay, wonderful. Acha, एक question और from the general awareness part only. How many months of current affairs are sufficient to clear this examination? Because ये question बहुत common है. कितने महीने का आपने किया था?
So there are two questions in this. First is the sufficient kitna hai. Like, if you read entire 50 years of history of India, you will not be able to solve all the questions. That is for sure. What is doable? 3 months would be fine. If you have time, go back. Like, if you do the current month, then the previous month, then previous to the previous, go that way. And if you are able to cover it, it is good. 3 months would be wise. I did for 3 months. Honestly speaking, it was 2.5 months. So I think मेजर क्वेश्चन उसी से आते हैं. बाकी जो आते हैं वो जनरल अवेयरनेस के हैं. सो यू विल नॉट फाइंड इट इन अ पर्टिकुलर मैगजीन, बट इन अ जनरल ट्रेंड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अबाउट अ सर्टन लॉ ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट और सर्टन डिसीजन ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट. तो दिस इज अ जनरल थिंग्स विच कम्स एवरी डे इन न्यूज पेपर. तो इट इज मोर अबाउट विजिलेंस. तो आई एम ऑलरेडी थरो विद द न्यूज. आई फॉलो न्यूज डेली इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ एनी एग्जाम्स. इट्स माई जनरल हैबिट टू फॉलो इट. So I think that also helps.
I think ये बहुत important बात आपने बोली, that we are not here to do PhD in any particular topic, and in fact we don't have to solve all the 80 questions from GA. It's just that we have to identify the area in which we are strong and we have to work upon it. That's it. Even if we are able to solve as per the current trend of the examination, I don't know what's going to be the trend in 2025 examination. Till 2024 examinations trend, I believe that if you are able to solve 50 questions in GA, that is more than enough, I believe. है ना. बाकी जो मार्क्स हैं थोड़े बहुत आप इंग्लिश, क्वांट और रीजनिंग से तो लेके आएंगे, एंड दैट विल हेल्प यू इन क्लियरिंग द ओवरऑल कट ऑफ. ठीक है
सर. मे आई टेक अ मोमेंट इन दिस रिगार्ड? सर, इफ यू सी द कट ऑफ, इफ यू गेट 7.5 इन क्वांट, if you get 15 in reasoning, 22.5 is done. And again, English cutoff was, I think, 7.5 or something like that. If you take average 10 marks, being it is an easier subject, so it will be around 32.5. You are only need to score 35 marks more for GA. If you're solving 50 question with 90% accuracy, it is far better than being good.
Exactly.
Not-
So
We have to like count on those things, sir. People just enter into this exam without preparation. It's about the same thing. When you are given 4 hours to cut a tree, use 3 hours to sharpen your axe. So if you see the calculation, if you clear the sectional cutoffs, half the battle is won. You only need to work for the half. So I think it can be doable. मतलब you have to strategize those things. That is very
यस आई
important.
थिंक वही होता है ना कि मेहनत इस दुनिया में गधे से ज़्यादा कोई नहीं करता, राइट? बट फिर भी दैट एनिमल इज कॉल्ड गधा ओनली, राइट? तो हमें गधे वाली मेहनत नहीं करनी है, वी हैव टू डू स्मार्ट वर्क. ठीक है, लेट्स कम टू phase 2 now, Amit. There are 3 subjects, ESI, FM and English. So what was your strategy in all these 3 subjects? Let's start from ESI.
Sir, for ESI, I would say I had very less time because I started preparing for phase 2 only after phase 1. So I had that much time only. And again, I said you government scheme and PIB part I did it before phase 1. So nothing more was to be done. Only the next month which came, like after phase 1 जो news आया होगा, वो वाला part. And same for reports also. So ESI majorly was done. I had a UPSC background, so static was done, but that doesn't come in handy because questions काफ़ी current affairs oriented रहते हैं. So I think that was the main thing which I did. I supplemented it with other things. For example, they may ask a question in descriptive where you need to put for your point. So for that, what I did a mental exercise. For example, suppose there is a scheme, suppose any scheme, Manrega. Then we have to do a mental exercise. Now you cannot write everything because you do not have time. I did not have time. So what I did, I'll sit with that paper and I'll think, okay, whatever provisions are there, why are they there? For example, if they are saying you'll get 100 days of employment, why only 100 days? Why not 90? Why not 110? Again, if there is a particular mechanism, for example, they shifted to online payments now, DBT, direct benefit transfer. Why did they shift? Were there any lacunas in the past method, or are there any shortcomings in the current method also? What measures have the government taken to overcome it, and what more can we do in this regard? So I think if you do that exercise with all the schemes, with all the reports, I think that is where the questions come majorly in descriptive parts also. You don't need to read something extra. If you see the questions in the descriptive part also come somewhere related to the events, and I think there are questions where they ask the general trends of the economy in this day. But if you read all these schemes, there would be some scheme related to that, and you would have done that mental exercise in the past. So that comes in handy. You do not need to read everything. That peripheral knowledge comes very handy in that. So I think that is a good way to go about it.
So basically your UPSC preparation, PIB, government scheme, these are the 3 major areas which you covered for ESI, right?
Sir, I think UPSC preparation did not help me directly with the content, but in the terms of analysis that I learned there, in terms of my management of sources, in terms of my note making, in terms of my analysis of those notes, I think it comes very handy in descriptive. And it's not that I am from UPSC background, that is why I made it. If you do the same thing, if you learn that art of analyzing things, I think it is very much doable for someone who is preparing for this exam only.
ठीक है, लेट्स कम टू FM. अब देखिए अगेन यहाँ पे अब सवाल ये है मेरा, FM की स्ट्रैटेजी चलिए आप बता ही देंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. बीइंग फ्रॉम अ नॉन कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड, ठीक है, बीइंग फ्रॉम अ साइंस बैकग्राउंड, बीटेक एमटेक, उसके बाद फाइनेंस एंड मैनेजमेंट को पढ़ना कितना मुश्किल था या कितना आसान था, या कितना आपने क्या मतलब क्या स्ट्रैटेजी आपने फॉलो करी? क्या वो समझना इतना मुश्किल है एक्चुअली में, या फिर इट्स जस्ट अगेन अ फोमो कि आई एम फ्रॉम अ नॉन कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड, हाउ वुड आई एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड फाइनेंस? सो I believe it is not a core finance, first of all, right? It is not a core finance. The syllabus, the notification itself mentions it, general finance and management, right? So what was your strategy for general finance and management?
Sir, I will start with your last word only. Again, I read the notification general, and that was the guiding light for me. I have to study general only. Second thing, they do ask data, but I think for that you need to have the concept. That is very important. So first what I did, there are ample videos on YouTube, not only for this exam, but there are people who make videos in general. They are not related to any institute, not related to any exam, in general. For example, if you search any finance term, there will be a lot of plethora of videos on that. Read those, just first get the concept. That is very important. Then after, when you read the sources for this particular exam, you'll get the gist of that. You'll get the idea ki aise hai, aise hai. If there is a certain data written or there is certain thing written there, why is it written? You'll get that. So building a concept is very important. People don't work on the foundation, they work on the upper floors. That is the problem. If you build a foundation, that is very helpful. And when it comes to finance and management, so for management, I would say, for finance part, as you said, I said ki matlab you have to prepare the concept first, then go about the data and all things. And I think you should have a consolidated notes for everything. At last, you cannot revise your entire sources. So making self notes is very important. एक तो आपको लिखते हुए समझ में बहुत कुछ आता है. Then when you write it by your own hands, you remember a lot. and then reading it continuously will imprint that thing in your mind. So for finance, I did that, and there were many things which I could not do. For example, I think there was certain portion of syllabus related to accounting and all that was introduced in 2023 only. I saw the past year paper; they did not ask a single question from that. I got to know what is the importance of that subject for RBI. Then I thought कि होगा तो देखा जाएगा. We cannot do anything. I did not have time for that. So I thought let's hit on the bullseye, which is most important part, finance wala part. I left that whole apart. Then there were easier portions that were added. For example, risk management. It was an easier topic and a smaller topic. I covered that. So this is how I capitalized on the certain topics that were more important. Apart from that, when it comes to management, I would say I did the same thing. I had a very long resource. बहुत कुछ मिला मुझे internet पे. I consolidated it into I think 6 pages. So 6 A4 sheets were enough for my entire management. And again, in management also, I first focus on the concepts. If you believe me, I would tell you that this year's RBI had a great change in the trend of FM. Everybody used to say that you can easily score 70, 80, थोड़ा सा रट लो हो जाएगा. It was done. I think RBI took it to their heart, and this time they changed the entire pattern, and now they are totally application based. And I think had the paper been rectification based, I would have not made it for sure. But because it was conceptual, I could make it because I had very clear concepts in that. For example, there was a question where they asked the person who gave a particular theory. It is such an easy question, but I did not know that because I did not ratify anything. I did not have time. I completed entire management in 6 days. But I had the concept, I left that question, but the other questions that were analytical, I solved those. And based on the answer keys of various coachings, I think 70-80% questions were correct in objective. I think that gave me a push. And when it comes to descriptive, again, the art of answer writing is very important. So in this, I did something unique, which was not there in YouTube anywhere. What I did, I first wrote an answer. I saw the word counter. Is it there? No, it has not happened. Then I added one line each in all the points. Then I saw the word counter, happened not. Then I added one example in each of the points. I saw word counter, हाँ हो गया. Leave it. So this is the way I went कि मतलब attend सारे questions करने हैं, touch सारे dimensions को करना है. But again, if you are short of words, then go back and add one words because here you don't have to write. You can add words in between. That is the advantage. So this is what I did, and I think these ad hoc strategies helped me to clear in this short amount of time.
राइट, वंडरफुल. आंसर राइटिंग को थोड़ा सा और डिस्कस मैं करना चाहूँगा यहाँ पे कि आंसर राइटिंग में अब जैसे जनरली क्या रहता है कि जब मैं आंसर राइटिंग अभी मैंने स्टार्ट नहीं किया है, तो अब एस्पिरेंट्स का मैंने देखा है, स्टूडेंट्स का देखा है कि पहले दिन पे मैंने एक आंसर लिखा और ऑफ कोर्स वो बहुत ख़राब होने वाला आंसर है ना, तो मैं डिमोटिवेट हो गया और मैंने छोड़ दिया. तो आंसर राइटिंग एक लॉन्ग जर्नी है, राइट, जिसको हमें मतलब 3-4 महीने, 5 महीने, 6 महीने, वट एवर टाइम, वो डिपेंड करता है इंडिविजुअल के पोटेंशियल के ऊपर. तो आंसर राइटिंग का जो पूरा प्रोसेस है वो मैं आपसे समझना चाहता हूँ कि कैसे आपने तैयारी करी फॉर द आंसर राइटिंग पार्ट. ऑफ कोर्स आपका जो एनालिटिकल वाला मेथड है उसने आपकी बहुत हेल्प करी होगी, बट अगेन यू हैव टू टाइप इट ऑन कंप्यूटर. किस तरीके से आपने आंसर राइटिंग में अपनी महारत हासिल करी उसके बारे में बताइए पूरा.
Yes. Sir, I think there are multiple questions in this. First is how did I analyze the question? How do you touch all the dimensions? How do you type the answers? How do you write error free? There are multiple parts in this. So first and foremost is the answer writing. It is only nothing but the inertia of writing answers. It is nothing against that. It is only inertia of people that hinders them from writing the answer. So I think, for example, if you give a test and you don't make it, you don't stop preparing for this exam. It's the same way. Like something has to be done, then has to be done. You don't need anything extra for that. If you need to write an answer, you have to write. There is no other option. So if you don't write a good answer, for example, if I show you my good answer, my first answer, you probably throw my notes. Like it was such a pathetic answer. But you have to build on that. That is how it goes. Everybody who comes into this exam is a fresher, is at the same level. Someone capitalizes because they could overcome their inertia. It's about that. So first day you write very bad answer. And I can promise you, you will write very bad answer. That is there. There is no denying in that. But what happens? First day you'll improve 1 point. Second day you'll improve second point. And I think not more than 15 to 20 that you take. Then you'll have confidence. Ki, haan, you keep the notes. Whatever you're typing, you save it in a folder. I'll tell a very psychological fact which I used. I used to save it in a folder. And whenever I used to feel low कि नहीं हो रहा, I used to see the first answer. उस दिन तो उतना बेकार था, आज तो बहुत अच्छा है. And that is a motivation. You need to trick your mind. As we see 3 Idiots, they say that दिमाग के साथ खेलना पड़ेगा, बस वही चीज़ है. So always keep your first, second day, all the answers arranged in a folder. And see that those answers, whenever you feel low, go and see the first answer. You will see how much you have improved. And that is a very good way of keeping you motivated for answer writing. That is one thing. Like how to overcome this inertia. Second is typing. you should always type in a notepad, because word में क्या होता है, Microsoft Word में they will highlight as soon as the error comes, and that is not a good thing. You should know कि बाद में कि you have to check it, recheck it. That is the thing. Write in notepad, later check it in Grammarly or somewhere else. That is second thing you can do. Third, again when you will prepare for phase 1, grammar ठीक हो ही जाएगी, punctuation ठीक हो ही जाएगा, तो वो चीज़ हो जाती है. And fourth of the most important part was answering the questions in proper manner. That is very important. So for that, what you can do, like take small questions in the beginning. For example, if RBI is asking about a certain financial term, and then they are asking the application जो भी है, you first take a small term, one half question, try to write an answer, try to see the allocation of, like for example there are general questions. For example, they ask you what is financial inclusion, then they ask you list out 5 schemes of inclusion, why is it needed. Now all the sub questions in that do not have equal weightage. The first question, what is financial inclusion, is the least important. They are just asking a statement, it will have 1 or 2 marks maximum out of 10. So you need to work on that. If they're asking a small question, first write that in your answer in practice tests. Are you able to answer those things clearly? Then go on the application part, then go on the associated current affairs part, then go on the data part. So you have to build on it. You cannot think कि पहले दिन ही मैं सब कुछ लिख दूंगा, नहीं होगा. First day write definition. Are you writing a good definition? Do you remember it? Second day an example. Third day the scheme related to it. Fourth day the shortcomings. Next day the measures taken. Then way forward. Then conclusion. Kind of. You have to build on part by part. There are people who comes into this domain, introduction, body, conclusion लिखा, पहला दिन नहीं हुआ, छोड़ दिया. Work on introduction, work on body, work on conclusion. I think step by manner will help.
यस वंडरफुल. आई थिंक बहुत ही स्टेप बाय स्टेप स्ट्रैटेजी आपने फॉलो करी है, और यही रीज़न है कि फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में निकला है, आई बिलीव. यहाँ पे जो आपने एक बात बोली ना, वो मेरे को बड़ी अच्छी लगी कि आप फोल्डर बना के रखिए और पहले दिन वाला आंसर देखिए. ये मेरी एक्चुअली, मतलब मैं यहाँ पे शेयर करना चाहूँगा, मेरी लाइफ की भी फिलॉसफी है. जब भी मुझे लाइफ में लगता है ना कि यार मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, क्यों कर रहा हूँ, तो मैं 10 साल पीछे देखता हूँ कि मैं क्या कर रहा था, और आज मैं यहाँ तक हूँ. तो ठीक है, धीरे धीरे ही चीज़ें आगे बढ़ती हैं, स्टेप बाय स्टेप ही आगे बढ़ती हैं. ठीक है.
It's about that only, sir. Like applying your experiences in exam. Like we have multiple kinds of experience, not only in exam, in life, in college, in school. We have various experiences. If you can use them and capitalize them, that is what is needed. For example, if you get a question on financial inclusion, you do not need to write finance specifically. There is an inclusion part also. जो आपने देखा सोसाइटी में, you would have seen service center, common service center, CSCs in your area. You would have seen how those banking correspondent work. You would have seen people coming to your homes for census and all. Is census not part of financial inclusion? They are getting the data from that only. So you can write those things. But it becomes difficult when you limit your scope. कि मुझे जितना मैंने पढ़ा उतना ही लिखना है. That is the problem. So if you apply your life knowledge, life experiences, I think it is very much doable.
एग्जैक्टली. दिमाग खुला हुआ होना चाहिए. दिमाग आपका अगर खुला है तो यू आर नेवर अ फ्रेशर. आप अगर आप आज ग्रेजुएट भी हैं, सो यू आर 21 ईयर ओल्ड एडल्ट, सो आपने ऑफ कोर्स 21 साल की उम्र में बहुत कुछ सीखा होगा, तो जो सीखा है सबको अप्लाई करना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. वंडरफुल.
गवर्नमेंट इज थिंकिंग कि 21 साल में अवार्ड देने के लिए एलिजिबल हो, यू कैन क्लियर, यू आर एलिजिबल टू क्लियर एन एग्जाम. इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट.
ठीक है. यहाँ पे मैं थोड़ा सा वापस जाना चाहूँगा फेज 1 की प्रिपरेशन पे, वेर यू सेड फॉर क्वांट एंड रीजनिंग दैट इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सिलेक्ट द क्वेश्चंस. द राइट चॉइस ऑफ क्वेश्चन इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अब मैं बैठा हूँ एग्जाम देने के लिए, आई डोंट नो हाउ टू सिलेक्ट द क्वेश्चन. सो व्हाट इज़ द मेथड दैट यू फॉलो, दैट ओके दिस इज़ द वे यू नो दैट आई हैव आइडेंटिफाइड दैट ओके दीज आर द एरियाज मैं क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करूँगा. बट वो हुआ कैसे, होता कैसे, वो करना कैसे उस.
Yes. Sir, most important thing that it needs lot of practice beforehand. You cannot, take a gun and go to the battlefield on the first day. So what you can do, first list out your important areas. For example, syllogism is something most of the people think easier. एक वो topic उठाइए. Same if you go in quant, average, ratio, proportion. So list out a certain topics in which you are good at. वो easy बाकी के लिए है नहीं, वो important नहीं है. I might find percentage easy, but it might be difficult for you. आपके स्ट्रेंथ के अनुसार इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है. देन व्हेन यू गेट अ मॉक टेस्ट, सी कि उस डोमेन से क्वेश्चन कौन कौन से हैं. एक सिलेक्शन तो वहीं हो गया. सेकंड थिंग, व्हेन यू रीड द क्वेश्चन, आर यू एबल टू कॉम्प्रिहेंड इट फर्स्ट टाइम. क्योंकि अगर फर्स्ट टाइम में आप कॉम्प्रिहेंड कर पा रहे हो, मतलब वो ईजी है आपके लिए. अदरवाइज आपको क्वेश्चन ही समझ में नहीं आएगा. दैट इज सेकंड स्टेप. थर्ड थिंग व्हाट यू कैन डू टू चूज द क्वेश्चन इज कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर सॉल्विंग सर्टेन क्वेश्चन, आपको लग रहा है कि इसमें कैलकुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा होगा या फिर सब पार्ट्स बहुत है क्वेश्चन की, देन यू लीव इट. You solve it in second iteration or third iteration for that matter. So I think these are step-wise things which you should do. But again, it needs a lot of practice in mock tests. Like in my case, I did not give much mock test because मैंने एग्जाम्स बहुत दिए हैं. मेरे एग्जाम्स निकलते थे, उससे मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस भी आता था, एंड आई यूज्ड टू गेट द रियल टाइम फील ऑफ एग्जाम. व्हेन यू गो टू द एग्जाम हॉल, यू सी द क्राउड आउटसाइड. वो बहुत मेंटल बैगेज क्रिएट करता है. एंड देन इफ यू आर एबल टू ओवरकम दैट, यू गो इनसाइड, यू सी द साइलेंस ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल, यू सी द इन्विजिलेटर टेकिंग अराउंड, वो मेंटल जो प्रेशर बिल्ड करता है, एंड देन यू गिव द एग्जाम, तो वो आपको बहुत सारा कॉन्फिडेंस देता है मेन एग्जाम में परफॉर्म करने के लिए. तो इफ यू कैन नॉट डू दैट, यू शुड गिव मॉक टेस्ट अगेन इन द सेम सिचुएशन, सेम सिमुलेशन, एंड इफ यू try those things like choosing the questions of your selected topics, then seeing the level of questions, then seeing कि कितना बार में वो comprehend कर पा रहे हो उसको. If you apply those things, I think selection of questions becomes easy later.
यस, तो मतलब बेसिकली मॉक टेस्ट और प्रैक्टिस, ये दो तरीके हैं जिससे हमें आइडेंटिफाई होगा. एंड मैं तो यार बहुत बार बताता हूँ, लगातार बताता हूँ, शायद आपकी बात सुन के लोगों को ये बात चमके कि मॉक टेस्ट जो है उसके बिना तो देखो नहीं हो पाएगा. आप डायरेक्टली, अगेन वही है, डायरेक्टली बंदूक लेके कूद जाओगे तो भाई
So
एक्लेमेटाइजेशन.
again applying the life experiences. There is no job that gives you a job without a training. Training is important. There is no doubt in that. I'll give an example in this regards. Like if you see a child while eating, if you give them something to eat in the first, the child of around 1 years or so, तो वो खाते वक्त हर जगह लगा लेगा मुंह में. But now if I tell you to eat, even if it is completely dark, you will eat it directly. You will not put it here. It is all about practice. It's a very basic example, but I give it to everybody. It's all about practice. Practice से लिखने के बाद you can write with left hand also. It's all about practice.
चलिए अमित, अब आते हैं हम आपके सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट पे, जो कि आपका बहुत अच्छा हुआ था, आपने बताया था मेरे को, इंटरव्यू. सो देर आर 2 questions here. First, how did you prepare for the interview? What are the sources that you followed? What sources should be followed? What areas one should cover before going to the interview? And of course, how was the actual interview experience?
Sir, first thing is how did I prepare? So I discussed with you also. I got my ICAR letter, joining letter, on I think 19th of November. I had my interview on the second day itself, 3rd of December. So I had around 15 days of buffer. In that also I had to do a lot of work like certifications had to be sent, and then we had to go for medical. Then I think it took around 25th, 26th of November. So I was left with 5 to 6 odd days for preparation. So if you see the biodata form, there are few major like classifications. One is the educational background, one is the employment background, one is the hobbies and interest, and the other is the achievement part. Those are the 4 broad classifications. So by seeing the biodata, and as people say in many of the videos, as teachers also say, that you should prepare each and every word of your DAF, वो biodata form. But I knew कि 5 दिन में तो होने से रहा, like classifications ही 5 है, तो हो नहीं पाएगा वो. That's practical, and there is no point आधा आधा करके जाने का. So what I thought कि they are not asking nitty-gritties. For example, if they are asking me about my college subject, किसमें मैंने इंजीनियरिंग की है, they will not ask me nitty-gritties of that, कि कितना वैल्यू होता है इस पर्टिकुलर वोल्टेज का. They will ask me broad idea whether I have learned something there or not. So I tried to take a broad view of that. For example, my optional was sociology, so I read something about it. I had electronics background, electronics engineering, so I read something about it. I had my research paper in machine learning, so I read about it. I worked upon my hobbies, थोड़ा पढ़ लिया उसके बारे में. I read about the achievement that I had. वो मैंने कर लिया broad. That was the broad thing I did. Then when it comes to real time interview, I think that was one of the most amazing experience I have had till now. Like, the board was very cordial, very helpful. They know that you are nervous. They try to give you ample time to comfort yourself. And I think it was the best experience. Like when I went inside, the first question sir asked me that you were preparing for UPSC. I said yes sir. What was your optional? I said sociology. Then he asked me, okay, so tell me, compare and contrast the exams of RBI and UPSC. Which is tougher? Then I said, sir, it's like comparing apple to oranges. You cannot compare those exams because the need of exam is different. The orientation of exam is different. The organization of the institution is different. The need of the institution is different. So you cannot compare. But when it comes to difficulty level, I think both are at par. UPSC is at par in terms of syllabus. RBI is at par in terms of selection ratio. So both are at par when it comes to difficulty. The nature of the question is different. One asks for broad application, the other asks for depth. But the difficulty is almost the same. Then it went on, and one of the members asked me that which is your favorite department for which you would like to work for. I had a background in machine learning because I published a research paper in that. So I said, sir, fintech department. Then they asked me about that. क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है? They asked me all left, right, and center about that. That happened. Then they came to me about a question, and it was a very good question where I could see the change in the tone of interview from that moment. So one of the panel members asked me, he asked me that, okay, tell me, there is a certain issue. I don't remember the issue exactly. They said कि ये issue पे Honorable Finance Minister Sitharaman ji and RBI Governor have a differing view. They are totally antagonistic to each other. So whose side do you support? I had frankly no idea about that issue. I never read it, never heard of it even. Then I said, sir, I'm sorry, I do not have any idea about the issue, but I think Honorable Finance Minister must have consulted RBI Governor in this regard, because they generally do it as long as RBI and economy is the concern. And they all started laughing. I don't know what did I say in that, but everybody started laughing. And since I was the first candidate to be interviewed that day and second in the entire process, they were like in very normal mood. But after that moment, everyone was jolly, everybody was smiling. Like I could see the change in the tone of interview from that moment. Then it went very good. Then one of the panel members asked me, okay, tell me, your hobby is about brainstorming or rational issues. So what is the last issue you have brainstormed? I said, sir, increasing role of women in elections. Then they said, okay, justify that. I said, sir, one can be seen from the increasing voter turnout of women as evident from the data of election commissioner. And apart from that, we have the schemes that are coming. Like back then only we had elections, Lok Sabha elections. Then we had election in my state only, Jharkhand, Maharashtra election. So we had a scheme, Ladli Behna Yojana in Jharkhand, and then similar schemes in Maharashtra. So all the majority of the schemes that the government is coming up is in towards the women. Then the panel member, like, I think it was to check my confidence or something, but they got aggressive and they asked me, so you mean to say that the women are easier to bribe? So I think it was to check my confidence. I said, no, sir, it's not to bribe. But if you see the previous generation of ours, the most of the breadwinners in every home would be a man, majority. So adding 1,000 or 2,000 rupees to that pocket won't make much of a value. But the marginal utility of that 1,000 rupees for a woman will be much more, because she's earning zero or very less. So that 1,000 adds a lot of value. She gets a lot of self-respect, self-confidence, and her bargaining power in the home increases. That yes, I am also earning something. So I am also a stakeholder in the decision making. I think that is the reason. And I saw that they were impressed by that answer. Then at last the Honorable Chairman asked me, okay, there is a question for which I am looking an answer for last 7 years. Let me see if you can satisfy me. And then he asked me, tell me, should we eliminate all the superstition in the society? And that was a question that intrigued me. Like, it was a very good question. I said, no, sir, we should not. Then he asked me why. Then I said, sir, because first thing is that religion makes order in society. If we eliminate religion, there will be anarchy in society. Because law and order is not sufficient to control everybody. But religion is something that controls the conscience of people, as said by Mahatma Gandhi ji. So when you are obligated by your conscience to do something, you will always do it, irrespective of what the law says. So I think that is one reason. Apart from that, superstition is something that is personal to the people. Even our constitution, Article 26, 27 recognizes that. So we cannot infringe that. And then he said, okay, tell me 2 incidences when we can breach that. Then I can say, sir, when it comes to self-harm, for example, self-sacrifice kind of thing, or when it comes to harm of the person, for example, sati and all. So I think when it comes to self-harm or harm to the larger society, I think those are the situations when we can eliminate that. Otherwise, if there is certain superstition, it may be a superstition from your point of view, but not from mine, and vice versa. So there is no moral ground where we can decide, yes, this is superstition, this is not. It is very subjective. The line is very subjective. We cannot. And as my answer started with the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, where I said that in the Sabrimala judgment, the dissenting judge, Justice Indu Malhotra, said a very beautiful statement that you cannot use logic in religion. They two are always kept separate. If you mix those two, you may not find logic, because one what might be logical for you might not be for me. So religion is all about faith. And I think those were the kind of answers that really impressed me. Like, I could see the tone of the interview going in my direction. So after that, I saw that Honorable Chairman sir gave me opportunity in 2-3 answers, where he told ki, okay, you take 2 minutes and answer this question. Whenever I used to say, sir, I don't know, he used to give me 2 or 3 minutes. Look, I know you can answer this question. You take your time. We are waiting, and you think, tell me. And this happened twice or thrice or four times, I think. So I could see that change in tone of the interview. So it was very good. And your last question, where you said ki how to prepare, I think you should have a broad idea about all the things. I told 4 parts. ब्रॉड आइडिया तो होना ही चाहिए, एल्स दे विल थिंक दैट यू आर लाइक आपने कुछ भी लिख दिया, यू आर नॉट डन, यू आर ब्लफिंग. तो यू शुड हैव अ ब्रॉड आइडिया. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इट इज ऑल अबाउट लाइक मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस वर नॉट रिलेटेड टू डेफ, दे वर अबाउट जनरल नॉलेज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हाट आरबीआई इज डूइंग इन दिस डोमेन, फॉरेक्स में क्या कर रही है आरबीआई, इकोनॉमी कैसे कंट्रोल कर रही है, रेपो का क्या हो रहा है, इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ रहा है उसके लिए क्या हो रहा है. तो आई थिंक यू शुड बी विजिलेंट अबाउट दोज थिंग्स. रीड अबाउट आरबीआई, read about the departments of RBI, read about the workings of RBI, what they have done in recent past month, contemporary times. I think those things really help in interview, because you just have to put forward that you are a person who is ready to learn. You are not expected to know everything. You should be a person who is ready to acquire knowledge, who is ready to learn and work on yourself. And that is what is needed for this interview.
ठीक है, बहुत ही बढ़िया इंटरव्यू. तो मतलब आपका बहुत ही बढ़िया हुआ है, आप फोड़ के आए हो इंटरव्यू में. वंडरफुल. All right, Amit, that is all which I wanted to discuss with you. It was a wonderful experience talking to you. चलते चलते मैं चाहूँगा कि आप कोई लास्ट मैसेज हमारे करंट एस्पिरेंट को और जो हमारे फ्यूचर एस्पिरेंट्स उनको देना चाहें तो यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम.
Yes, sir. So I would like to say that there are times when we are demotivated, like we are not able to get our desired result, or we are not able to, or we are pushed down by some people. तो ये हमेशा होता रहता है, but it is all about self belief. First thing is the confidence, because confidence is the key. If you do not have the confidence, nothing can push you forward. At one point of time, it is only your confidence and your own motivation that will help you. So whenever you get demotivated, always think about what brought you to this process, what brought you into this examination, whatever it may be. It may be financial security, it may be a good lifestyle, it may be a good work culture, whatever it may be. That should drive you forward. And as I always tell people, there were people who came before me and made it into this exam. There are people who made it with me, and there will be people who will come next to me. So let's meet in RBI. That's it.
ठीक है, wonderful. Thanks a lot, Amit, for joining us. And I could see that the kind of knowledge, the kind of wisdom that you have at such a younger age, it's very wonderful. I wish you a great career ahead, and I believe that you're definitely going to do the wonders in your career.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. So that was Mr. Amit Kumar for us. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session, this podcast session, and I will come back with some session with some other toppers. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Take care, and God bless.